Korgalzhyn State Natural Reserve. Location of the reserve. Korgalzhyn State Natural Reserve is located in the central part of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The reserve is located at the junction of the Akmola and Karaganda regions. It is completely located in the Korgalzhyn district of the Akmola region. Its exciting protected zone runs through the Korgalzhyn and Egunkul districts of the Akmola region, the Nurinsk district, and the lands of the state land fund of the Karaganda region. Climate. The climate in the area of the reserve is sharply continental, which is due to the inland location and the remoteness from the softening effect of the oceans and seas. Continental polar air prevails over the area throughout the year. Hot, dry summers give way to cold winters with relatively little snow. The climate is characterized by aridity and sharp fluctuations in the air temperatures for individual years, as well as within a year, month, day. The area is a shallow. In summer there are droughts, dust storms, dry winds. In winter, snowstorms and snowstorms. Soil. The reserve is located in the zone of chestnut soils, but zonal automorphic soils aren't represented within its boundaries. The territory is characterized by semi-hydromorphic and hydromorphic soils: meadow chestnut, meadow boggy, solonets, and salt marshes. They form either homogeneous contours of combinations or complexes. The soils are developed in lacustrine alluvial deposits, which in places are underlined by saline clays. Vegetation. The vegetation cover within the reserve is quite diverse. There are 4 types of vegetation: steppe, deserted, meadow, wetland. Of particular interest in the vegetation cover the Korgalzhyn reserve are fragments of feather grass and the Turkic steppe, characteristic in Eurasia only for the Kazakhstan region, as well as desert communities that penetrate far to the north of their zone. Steppe vegetation occurs in small areas along slightly sloping plain surfaces and along watershed rises on meadow chestnut clay soils. Mammals. 41 species of mammals live here, which is almost half of the entire original fauna of the Kazakh unplant, and includes 6 species listed in the Red Book. The core of the fauna is 55% composed of representatives of the order of rodents, since it is this group of animals that evolves in arid regions. It is inhabited by indicators of the steppe landscape, the bobek marmot listed in the IUCN Red Data Book, the steppe puzzle, and the endemic steppe mouse. From the eastern steppe species, the Dzungarian hamster panthers here. Along with the steppe species, desert and forest species live on the site. Avifauna. In terms of ornithological terms, the area of the Korgalzhyn reserves is extremely interesting territory. The feather-haired world is represented by 328 species, which is 65.3% of the entire avifauna of Kazakhstan. Of this number, 39 species are included in the Red Book of Kazakhstan, and 42 species are included in the Red Book. The complex of nesting birds, consisting of 126 species, has the features of the fauna of the central Kazakhstan lake steppes, with a long-formed core. Among the breeding species, there are 17 rare and globally threatened species, as well as all endemics and relics of avifauna. During the migration period, 219 species stop here. Among them, 14 are listed in the Red Data Books. Reptiles and amphibians. These animals aren't widespread. Amphibians are represented by two species. Both are located at the boundaries of the ranges. In the area of the reserve, there are the northern habitats for the green toad and the southern one of the sharp-faced frog. Reptiles are represented by four species. The navel lizard and the steppe viper are common fauna. The multicolored foot and mouth and the pattern snake are rare and are found on the northern border of distribution. Among the listed species, only one steppe viper is listed in the IUCN Red List. There are no endemic species. Observations of these groups of animals in the reserve aren't carried out. Ichthyofauna. Fish live only in the waters of Lake Korgalzhyn. The Ichthyofauna includes 14 species. Among them, there are 11 native and 3 acclimatized species. And the latter enters the lake along the bed of the Nura River and are celebrated every year. The fish fauna most of all attracts amateur anglers. Particular interest is shown in pike, perch, roach, goldfish, and goldfish. Insects. The world of invertebrates in the reserve is particularly unexplored, so it isn't possible to fully access its diversity. Information on insects is limited by an incomplete inventory of Coleoptera, which consists of 256 species and is represented by species common for this zone, as well as fragmentary data on Lepidoptera. It is also known that dragonflies are represented by 25 species. 87 taxa were found in the zooplankton of the reserves, of which 48 rotifers, 28 cladocrines, and 11 copepods. In different research of Lake Korgalzhyn, from 36 to 42 species are recorded, and in Lake Tingis, only 8 species. Volga Adonis. In April, the steppe is decorated with bright yellow flowers of Volga Adonis. A spread out branch stem up to 25 cm tall with leaves thrice dissected into linear, lanceolate lobes depart from the rhizome. At the tops of the stem and branches, single flowers up to 4 cm in diameter develop. Numerous pistils and stems are clustered in the center of the flower, surrounded by 12 or 20 oblong yellow petals.